Has Twitch said anything? So I don't think Twitch can. I think Twitch is still bound by whatever the legal settlement was, and I think DrDisrespect even making that statement was very much against the legal settlement as well. I think there was just so much pressure mounting that he just said fuck the NDAs and then did that. But I could be wrong. I just really don't think Twitch is going to say anything because they've got to still be locked down by it. I would imagine. Yeah, I saw Nick and Tim made statements, and Ninja as well. All of them saying that it's kind of inexcusable. I did see that. Everyone close to Doc is saying the same thing. Obviously, because it is inexcusable, it's indefensible. What do you think are some of the repercussions? No civil cases were opened, but maybe criminal charges? No. So I don't. I think he's right that they never pursued criminal action. In Ludwig's video, Ludwig made a mogul mail on it. I didn't realize this. His ban came shortly after they made a policy change to protect children on their platform. So they made this. It's probably better if I just pull up the mogul mail because he's got it in there. The point is, no, I don't think there's going to be any criminal charges there. I think whatever they settled with will be the end of that legally. But the repercussions are obviously his reputation. I think when he does come back, if he does come back, I'm thinking it's a win, though. I think he definitely will. He's still going to have an audience. There's still so many people right now defending him for it. And when he comes back, he'll probably have the same viewership, maybe a little less, maybe even more. Who really knows? Twitch had an update to their community guidelines right before they banned him. And what I think happened is they got this information, and what Ludwig speculated as well. Twitch got this information from either the minor or the minor's parents. They were alerted to this misconduct here, and they took action, and then they made this policy change and this announcement. Because the timing matches up. And I think what happened next is maybe DrDisrespect, not knowing that they received that information, sued Twitch for wrongful ban, possibly. And then everything came to light during the case, and eventually, to protect like the identity of the minor and everything, Twitch maybe settled. But this is all still speculative because we don't have anything to corroborate that other than just the timing of some of these things. But that would be like my guess. The messages shouldn't get released. It was a minor, no business that stuff getting released to the public. Yeah, so I don't think that's ever going to see the light of day. I think if anything like official from the legal settlement comes out, it won't be the chat logs because they involve an actual minor. The reason the To Catch a Predator chat logs go public is because it's not minors. They're not actually communicating with minors. It's decoys. I think it's very different when it's legitimately a minor. So I don't see those chat logs ever being released. The only way those come out is if someone that handled the case or someone that was close to it internally releases it. And then they'd probably really fuck themselves legally. They'd probably get in huge trouble. Again, we have no idea what the actual legal case was or what was pursued. He's got a wife and kids. And this is something I said last night. I said that it was still so surprising that his wife would stick with him through this. Like, staying with someone that cheats on you is one thing. I truly think that once cheating happens, the foundation of trust is completely breached and it's irreconcilable, but I'm not your fucking dad, right? Like, I can't make your decisions for you. That's up to you if you want to go back for it. Like, if you forgive the person and can move on from it. But it's a totally different case to not only be cheated on, but then also have that same person texting inappropriately with a minor. Like, how do you like, that's something you can't move on from. And yet, she did. Because she would have had to have known about this. Like, there's no way this is something he could have hid from her. And he's saying he's taking a vacation with his family. Thus, leads me to believe she definitely knew. That's just mind-boggling to me. For Money and the Kid, I guess maybe feeling trapped, that's certainly possible, and that's super sad. Like, that's definitely a very sad situation if that is the case. Can Twitch legally go through DMs? And if not, do you think that's why I got settled? I think in the terms of service, I haven't checked, but I saw people talking about that in particular, that Twitch actually does have something in their terms of service to allow them permission to check activity on the platform or something. But either way, everything you use is checking your shit, like harvesting your data. Your messages are being read when you send them, or at least they can be accessed. So I don't think they'd be getting into hot water for that. That I don't think would be an issue. I don't think that's why they settled. I think they settled to protect the identity and the safety of the minor. That's my guess. The chat logs in the Austin Jones case were released in the court documents. Why would this be different? Correct me if I'm wrong, but the Austin Jones was a criminal court case. This one was not. There was never any criminal charges here. So I think the rules are different when it comes to a criminal case versus this kind of case. If the other co-founder said what he said about termination with Midnight Society, it wasn't a mutual decision. Yeah. And do you think he went against his PR team releasing that statement? Yeah. I actually do think he violated whatever the legally binding stipulations were with their settlement by making his statement today. I couldn't believe that, actually. And that definitely would have went against the advice of his PR team. For sure. That's why I suspect there's some scenario where the age of the minor was not clear. If it was clear, the criminal charges could have been brought against him regardless of the settlement in a civil court. See, I've seen that argument a lot. But the thing is, and I think people just don't remember this, a lot of predators in To Catch a Predator actually never faced any legal repercussions, even though there was irrefutable evidence not only of them communicating sexually with someone they believed to be a minor, but even going physically to their location. Like, it's still a very hard thing to pursue. So that, I don't think, leads credence to him not knowing. I think if he didn't know the age of the minor, that would be the first thing in his statement. He wrote 10 fucking paragraphs. He wrote 10 paragraphs and would, for some reason, leave out that he didn't know the age of the minor. Come on. I don't see that. And all of his friends would probably be saying, no, look, Doc told me he didn't know. But none of them are saying that. Not a single one is saying that. So, unfortunately, I don't think that's the case. Do we know if Twitch employees have repercussions for publishing stuff like this? That, no clue. All depends on whatever the NDAs and settlement entailed. I don't know. Jesus Christ. I don't know. Are the leaked emails legit? Oh, you refer... So, right before DrDisrespect made his statement, there were a lot of emails... a lot of email screenshots circulating. I won't bother pulling them up because it's not confirmed, and I don't want it to lead to confusion. I've seen a lot of people debunking the emails, where apparently there was this, scheme to frame DrDisrespect, but not a single confirmed source is saying that or verifying the authenticity. And I've seen some people debunking it, so that one just doesn't seem legitimate. That seems like it was just completely fake. Waiting for the conspiracy people to say Doc had to be put down because the game? What? Well, you don't even need to wait for conspiracy people. The beauty is people are still defending this even on surface level. There are a not small number of people right now saying that since he didn't fuck a child, he didn't meet with a child, he's fine. Who cares? Can't wait to re-up my subscription to the Slick Daddy Club, Champions Club. I've got the credit card wacky numbers ready. So there doesn't even need to be a conspiracy. Legal Mindset said they most likely settled because Twitch knew minors were using whispers and did nothing, and the lawsuit was going to show that. Oh, that's super interesting. Wait, that's a really interesting point. Is that a legal problem for Twitch, though? Because the service is 13 plus. So, are they legally in trouble if kids are using their whispers? That's very interesting. So I don't think YouTube's going to take any action. It didn't happen on their platform, so I think it's probably not going to be like EDP, who was actively using YouTube to get to victims. So I don't think YouTube's going to do anything. And I do think he's going to make a return, and he will still find an immense amount of success, because there's still so many people that are okay with this, which is crazy. I think most people are just naive, not actually defending sexting children. Well, no, they point blank are. I think there is still some people that are just naively hanging on to the hopium that there might be another angle to this where Doc didn't know the age, which, again, it hasn't been confirmed he didn't, but with the way everyone close to him have talked about it, and he himself never even hinting that he was unaware of the person's age, it seems unlikely. It seems very unlikely that he didn't know he was communicating with a minor. And he just point blank admitted to it. And people are still trying to find these fucking mental gymnastics. Do you think parents are to blame? I've seen it. this isn't what you meant, by the way, but you just reminded me. I've seen a couple people who are like, really, it's the kids' fault. We need to make sure minors are banned off social media. Which is like, I've said this before, I don't think social media is good for kids. I want to make that clear. But I love that in the light of something like this, it's like, we need to think about the predators and like first and foremost. You know, it's the minors are coming to the predator. It's the kids' fault. We got to make sure that the predators can't easily meet the minors. But I do agree that kids shouldn't be on social media in general, but I just love having that take after this. It's like, I mean, you're not wrong. Kids probably shouldn't be on social media, but here you're literally like, think of the predators. Why would anyone think about the predators? It's not the predators' fault that minors have access to social media. It's crazy how forgiving people can be. Roman Polanski's victim, who was literally drugged and raped at 13, not only was forgiven, but also takes... Wait, what? I didn't know about that second part. I remember Roman Polanski received a standing ovation, though, even after all of that came to light when he was still fleeing the country. I remember that. What do you think about Turtle Beach dropping him as a sponsor? You think all of his sponsors will drop him? Even if he sees success on YouTube, won't he have no sponsors? Yeah, I can't imagine many companies wanting to work with him going forward, because not many companies want to work with someone who has openly admitted to texting inappropriately with minors. But like I said, he's still going to have an audience on YouTube when he comes back. There's still plenty of people defending him. So he doesn't need the sponsors. He'll just be able to live off 20,000 concurrent viewers minimum on YouTube, probably. Like I said, I don't see YouTube banning him because it didn't happen on their platform, so I don't see that happening. But here, even if YouTube did ban him, he goes to Kick. Kick's not going to. Why did Twitch try to hide it for so long? So that's what I was also initially super confused by, but I read quite a bit from a lot of different people today, and I do think the likely explanation for why everything was so tight-lipped, on Twitch's side in particular, was to protect the minor. That's kind of what I think. Someone made a really good point. Apparently, Legal Mindset said that the reason Twitch would have wanted to bury that is because they didn't want to, like, openly disclose that minors were using their messaging service, perhaps. So it could be another explanation. We don't know. Point is, we don't know. I think it's still a bad look to not at least make parents aware of something like that. I think there's still a responsibility there. But as for why they didn't, I think it was probably to protect that victim or maybe cover up the fact that minors use the whispers. Could be either one. Did you see the Twitch CEO's response? They didn't have a response. Are you talking about that clip that came out from Dan? That's because that's an older clip. I'll check real quick, but I don't think they've said anything on their end. I don't think they're allowed to. Yeah, I see nothing from Twitch or anyone at Twitch, like at the upper level. Like, there's one guy in here just spamming in caps lock every single time he's innocent. It's his entire chat history I checked just out of curiosity. I couldn't tell if it was just trolling or not, but he's not. That guy's being serious. There's plenty of people that think just like him. So what? He was messaging a minor and openly admitted to it. He didn't fuck the minor, so who cares? Victimless crime. I thought he didn't know. Again, there is not a single piece of evidence or even a single hint from DrDisrespect or anyone close to him that he didn't know he was talking to a minor. He has never said that. No one close to him has ever said that. No one close to this case has ever said that. I am sure in 10 paragraphs that he wrote for this today, he would have made sure to mention that at least once, probably at the very start, that he didn't know he was talking to a fucking kid. But he didn't, and nobody else has. And now I've seen a lot of people spreading a lot of absolutely wrong things like, well, the minor was actually about to be 18 years old. There was a 17-year-old who was only a few days away from being 18. Again, there's not a single verifiable source saying that. No source or evidence is saying that. Not even Doc. I'm sure if that was the case where he was talking to a 17, very close to being 18-year-old, he would have mentioned that too. But nobody is saying that. None of these things have any basis. All we have is DrDisrespect himself admitting to it. And I'm sure he would have taken any opportunity he could to make it look less bad than it is. How much better would that really be? Almost 18? It'd be like, from a legal standpoint, it'd be better, and thus in the eyes of most people defending him, they'd be like, the people making a big deal out of this, who gives a fuck? But again, that's still, I don't even know why we're entertaining the idea that that's even a possibility. There's no fucking evidence there for that even being close to the case.